Alrighty, fellas. If you are confused on what the hell to do on this Devour of Dreams season, oh, have no fear. I'm here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and show you these janky rotations. Ikaze. Okay, fellas. I'll go ahead and show the rev cards and the mindscapes for this team. Starting off with Best Girl Sumi. Sumi, we're going to be running Wisdom and Virtue. Here is her mindscape. Next is going to be our main strategist, Cord. We're going to be running the Creation Reconciliation set. Here is her mindscape. If you do have A0 Cord this season, the rotation is pretty A0 Cord friendly, as this is Devour of Dreams season. So you don't have to run the generic 6-turn rotation, you just need to learn how to align buffs. Now, for our second strategist, being A1 Twins. If you are A0 Twins, the Sumi rotation will look a little bit different, but don't worry, once we get to the battle guide portion of the video, I'll have the rotations for the A0 Sumi and Twins parse on the screen for y'all. But for this season, we'll be running Twins with Departure and Control to cap out on our defense reduction, as Negativity and Power just suck balls. Such a fraudulent set, y'all. Alright, here is their mindscape. And for our navigator, we'll be running Miku. Miku is going to be running Hope and Labor. Now, if you are A0 Miku, your highlight rotation will look a bit different. If you guys do want the highlight rotation for this team, comment down below and I'll type it in the comments for y'all. But here is her mindscape. And lastly, let's go ahead and talk about Wonder. So for the Wonder personas, we're going to be running Sarosha with Absolute Obedience and Rakunda. Next is Vishnu. We're just going to be using Wind of Nirvana. Not much to say there to cap out on our defense reduction. Yanoshik, we're just going to be using his Tarukaja and Matarukaja. Now, if you don't cap out on crit rate, I suggest you inherit something like a Rebellion over Matarukaja. But since I do cap out with the Sumi team, I will just need Tarukaja and Matarukaja. And then of course he'll land his mark with passive. And without further ado, y'all, let's get straight into the run. Ikaze. Okay, boys, whoopsie. I forgot to talk about Wonder Daggers. So, if you aren't capped out on defense reduction, I recommend running Arc Knife at R6. But since I am, I'll be running R6 Glimmer for this video. And of course, the worst option being R6 Ex Machina with a starter line Blessed persona like Sarosha in this case. And now, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Ikaze. If you are A0 Sumi, you can follow this guide, but if your twins are A0, your Sumi rotations will look a tad bit different. But no worries, I will have the rotations for Sumi and twins if your twins are at A0. But let's go ahead and get started. Twins and everyone else, we're just going to guard. We're only going to get started with buff alignments once we hit turn 2, when Miku is up and active. But for now, we just guard gaming. My favorite, y'all. I love Devour. I'm being sarcastic. All my homies hate Devour, y'all. But Sumi's fun, at least. Alright, Heaven's up. We're going to go ahead and skill 1 here with Heaven. This is going to go ahead and proc a party-wide pierce rate and attack boost, helping us cap on shreds. Okay. And then here, we're going to go ahead and guard with twins. Wonder's going to go ahead and start setting up his buffs and debuffs, starting with Sarosha Rakunda. Cord is going to guard gaming this turn. And same with Sumi. And don't worry about healing. Fafnir hits like nothing. Like a wet noodle, in fact. Alright, fellas. We got Spring Storm. So let's go ahead and Spring Storm S2 to amp up our weakness damage and apply an additional damage amp because Miku is broken. Alright. Now, we're going to go ahead and Sarosha highlights. Y'all have been itching the highlight, I get it. This is going to inflict the damage taken debuff. And then guess what we're doing here, y'all? Yay, guard gaming. Woo! Alright. Wonder, you're going to go ahead and Vishnu skill 1 here to inflict a windswept and extra defense shred from his passive. And then here, with Cord, guess what we're doing? You already know, fellas. You already know. But now we get to actually play with Sumi. We're going to go ahead and skill 2 onto A1 twins. If you're A0 twins, you would target Cord instead. So let's go ahead and target the twins here so we get our step stacks a tad bit quicker. Ow, holy Christ, Fafnir. Did you have to do it to me like that? Alright, Miku got play with fire. So let's go ahead and play with fire S1 here. As this will buff up our crit damage and it will reapply the party-wide attack boost. I hope my Sumi lives this show. Prage. She's on life support there. Alright, twins, we're going to start setting up the rotation using skill 2. This will help us cap our shreds. Violet will also get a step stack. Now, with Wonder, we're going to go ahead and Yano Rakunda. Or my bad, Yano Tarukaja. If you aren't capped out on CR, aka crit rate, I recommend Rebellion here instead of Tarukaja. But since I do cap out with Shock, right, it's an extra 10% from Shock, and my Sumi is around 89% with Masquerade, I don't need Rebellion. So I'm just going to go ahead and Tarukaja here. This will apply an extra 20% shred with Yano, which is very convenient. Okay. Now, we do get access to Highlight. We're going to go ahead and strategize Twins Highlight here, further amping up our party-wide attack. Alright, Cord is going to start gaming finally. Alright, we're going to go ahead and activate skill 2 here. This is going to go ahead and amp up Sumi's attack, giving her co-star as well. Alright, Sumi here is going to go ahead and skill 1 here to gain another step stack, sending us straight into weak phase. And now that we're in weak phase with all 3 songs from Migu Dayo, guess what we're doing? You know the drill, fellas. You know the drill. It's time for that good old ghost roll. Let's go ahead and Miku S3 here. Too bad the song's copyrighted, y'all. I would be playing this in the guide, honestly, because it's such a banger. And now we get the extra 2 turns, and crit damage amps. Twins, we're going to go ahead and skill 1 here. This is going to proc a party-wide attack boost. Sumi's going to get another step stack. Seisai ni Jikanda, as you know, will give us a 2-turn crit damage amp. Another Sumi follow-up for good measure. Alright, here, Wonder. We're going to go ahead and change to Sarosha. We're going to go ahead and Absolute Obedience to amp up Sumi's Highlight damage. Alright, here we have Highlight. Let's go ahead and Cord Highlight here to amp up Sumi's damage even further. Go ahead and Masquerade with Sumi. And then here, we're going to go ahead and press the funny catchy hook button. Make sure you target Sumi, of course. Alright, let's see how much damage. 5.3, big PP damage. Alright, here, we're going to go ahead and do it again. Throw that sword. 5.2. Alright. And then Sumi here, we're going to go ahead and skill 3. In conjunction, since we are in Masquerade. Skill 3 doing more damage with that form. Alright, Twins, we're going to go ahead and reset the rotation. Go ahead and skill 2 here. Reapplying the shred that Sumi needs. And another extra 23% because departure and control. Alrighty, fellas. And then here, with this turn, we're going to go ahead and use the Twins Strategist Highlight, Fire and Ice, to reapply that party-wide attack boost that we need. Alright, here, Wonder himself, we're going to go ahead and do Vishnu skill 1 to apply the shred and the windswept. Alrighty, Cord, we're going to go ahead and reset her rotation. We're going to go ahead and skill 2 here make sure you target Sumi, so she gets the co-star and the attack amp. Sumi herself is going to go ahead and re-invitation onto Twins, as you know, helping us get our step stacks easier. Alright, Miku Heaven is up. We're going to go ahead and Heaven S1 here to reapply the party-wide pierce rates and attack boost to help out on capping defense reduction. Alrighty. And then here, you're going to go ahead and use the Twins strategist highlights. Or my bad, the Sai and Nuke highlights. And then in conjunction with that, you're going to use their skill 1, reapplying the party-wide attack boost. There's our step stack with Sumi. Seisai no Jikanda for the extra measure of crit damage. Man, this team is so fun to play, y'all. Alright, Wonder. We're going to go ahead and switch to Yanoshi. We're going to go ahead and Mataru Kaja here. Again, if you aren't capped out on crit rate, you can just Rebellion there, and it'll help. Alright, here with Cord, make sure you land the shock for an extra 10% CR, so you can cap out on crit rates. In this case, I got the shock. Very nice. We take those. Alright, Sumi herself, we're going to go ahead and skill 3. Since we will get the final step stack we need with Twins next turn. Big PP Dameji. Alright, Miku's back up. We're going to go ahead and use Miku S2 here. This is going to amp up our party's weakness damage and an additional damage amp because Miku Gaming, Miku Dayo. We're going to go ahead and reapply the Shred using skill 2 with Twins. There's the Sumi follow-up for the step stack. Alright, Wonder himself is going to change to Sarosha. We're going to go ahead and reapply the damage taken effect. That will help debuff Fafnir even further. Alright, Wonder here. We're going to go ahead and use Sarosha Absolute Obedience to reapply the highlight damage amp for Sumi. Alrighty, Cord. We're going to go ahead and make sure to Masquerade with Sumi first. And then we press the funny skill 3 button for some big PP damage. Throw that sword, baby girl. 3.7. Alright, we do it again. Juicy. 3.4. And a final skill 3 for good measures. And GG's, fellas. Hope this guide helped. Alrighty, fellas. Thank you so much for watching this Guild Boss guide. If you do have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll get to you as fast as I possibly can. Sorry if I do sound a little, like, monotone. I'm just not feeling well today. But, hey, that ain't stopping me from recording this dope-ass team, y'all. And if you do have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll get to you as fast as I can. And if you really enjoyed this one, consider leaving a like, maybe subscribing. We are on the road to 1K subscribers on YouTube. I hope to hit that milestone by the end of this year. Maybe, hopefully, I can achieve that dream, y'all. And yeah, do look forward to some future guides for this game. SOS guides, Guild Boss guides, you know, video essays. I have a lot planned in my head that I do want to execute, y'all. And yeah, until the next one, deuces.